Yo, to all my people who follow me, I just want y'all to know, man, like when I post something, um, I'm cool with pushback. I don't have a problem with pushback. You know, you're more than welcome to voice your opinion. As a matter of fact, I encourage it. You know, voice your opinion with conviction. I'm cool with disagreeing with somebody. I like to think that I'm the kind of person that can walk and chew gum at the same time. I don't expect to share the same ideologies as everybody. I'm not one of those black people who feel like that black people need to be a monolith. I understand that we're not going to always agree on everything. I'm always going to push for us to figure out a way to get on some kind of code at some point. I'm always going to be a progenitor of the culture. I'm always going to be pushing for peace and positivity. I just need for you to understand that, once you start to tell people that you're positive, it's a very multi-layered thing. And I need for y'all to understand that when I say positive, I don't mean positive as in take my kindness for weakness. And that's white people, black people, that's anybody. Don't make that mistake. Like I'm a very, very peaceful, very, very peaceful man, but I didn't get to this level of peace by avoiding violence at all costs. I went to war for this peace. Violence ain't nothing but rock and roll to me. So I need to have a full understanding of what I'm dealing with, and I need to be really, really clear with my intention behind everything that I say and making sure that I hit the target in a way that I intended to. I went on a Twitter rant earlier. It was just to motivate my people. That rant was directed at black people. So I used the phrase white people, and I noticed that that's a trigger area for white people. Just to say white people when you're either going on a rant or you're making a point, it's just no way for me to make the point without using the phrase white people. I know people are really quick to get defensive when it seems like people are being generalized and shit like that. And I definitely try not to generalize. But the point I was making, I was talking about white people in certain spaces and music particularly. And I was making an observation about how black people on general consensus just tend to view the proverbial white power or power structure or any powerful white person in a close enough proximity to black millionaires in those spaces. And I was just saying that it's very easy, especially if somebody is not aware of his or her value, not able to really put a finger on just what they bring to the table. It's very easy to take credit for whatever success that person has earned. Very easy to get a grasp of who did what. And I think in our culture, we spend so much time giving all of the glory, to white people for everything. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just don't think it's healthy for us. I said white people don't create black millionaires. I stand by that. I don't identify that as a thing. I mean, I don't. If I go into a business deal with you, if we go into a business agreement and we agree that I'm going to come to the table with my value and my talent that I bring, and in that agreement, it says that you will make more money off the value that I bring than me and leave me with the rest. Even if the rest that you're leaving me with is enough to make me a millionaire. Yes, that makes me rich. And I'm appreciative of that because I'm rich in contrast to what I was, which was poor. It's a lot of money in that contrast. In contrast to that, rather. Now, if we go even deeper and we want to be technical about it, it being a lot of money in contrast to what's being generated, that's subjective. That's subjective, you know? So, I mean, if my talent generates $10 million and you get 9 of it and leave me with $1 million, yes, I made $1 million and I'm thankful. I made a lot of money, but it doesn't mean that we have a fair agreement, and it doesn't mean that I'm not being taken advantage of. And it certainly doesn't give you the right to say you created a millionaire. You did not create a millionaire. Not the way in which I'm speaking about. And what I was saying was the way that black people make each other, elevate each other. The intention and the motive behind it is just way more of an emotional connection and a spiritual connection. If I elevate my brother to a position where he could perform to the highest of his capabilities, the fulfillment that I'm going to get from that is exactly like the fulfillment that I get from my own success, because elevating him is a part of my own success. You know, like it's something that we dreamed about, making each other rich. I'd never had a conversation with a white person where they told me they dreamed about making a black person rich. You know, like if we look at our agreement, one would be foolish to just assume that the primary focus was to make me a millionaire over just profiting. And I also said that I don't think that white people should be held responsible or held to the standard of having to create black millionaires. I don't think that that's like a prerequisite. That shouldn't be the case. I don't think that we should look to anybody for that. I think every other culture, they're doing just fine, looking out for one another and circulating their dollars within their culture, and they have codes, and they marry in their race. They don't do things outside of their race. All of the things that if we say that we're going to do in the black community, we get accused of being racist, and watch what you say. Dr. Umar said that black people should marry black people, and people were like, yo, that's racist. I don't understand, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of these phrases that just irritate the shit out of me, like victims mentality and shit like that. If you're a black person, why would you ever want to use that phrase, victims mentality? You couldn't possibly think that when you say it, the intention behind you saying it is going to mirror the intention behind somebody else who's trying to victimize you. Is when they're saying it, they're weaponizing it against you. That's all that is. So it's like the whole critical race theory and all of that shit. I understand the discomfort that white people have about it and it being added to the curriculum and all of that shit. I really think black people should be very intentional with just educating our own children about shit like that. But they need to know nonetheless. They need to be made aware of critical race theory. To send them out into a racist world that's based on a entirely racist construct, and just assume that since the thought of racism is not in their head, that they're not going to experience it. If anything, it's just going to put them in a position where they're going to be socially crippled and not able to identify with situations where they're being attacked. And that's not healthy at all. Any way that you're not armed in a war, it's not healthy at all. And please stop accusing me of hating DJ Vlad. I don't hate the brother Vlad. I don't wish any ill will on him. I don't have any room in my heart for hatred. I know that it's really, really easy to paint rappers out to be that, especially rappers around my age. When we get around this age, people think that we start to get desperate. Listen, the whole time the pandemic has been going on, and I've been using my platform to be brutally honest about things. What I feel like is speaking the truth to power. Not once have I had a motive or an agenda to sell you anything. I don't have anything to sell you. You have nothing that I want from you. I don't want more follows. I don't wish to be more famous, more popular. I don't want a verse from anybody. I don't want a favor. My only goal and an agenda in life, my central purpose in life, is just to improve. That's it. Better father, better across the board, and just be intentional with the things that matter in my life. And DJ Vlad does not matter in my life. If anything, I resent the implication he's that in your mind. He's not. DJ Vlad is not that in my mind. It's nothing going on over there that requires any attention from me. Nothing he's doing over there is of any concern of mine, other than I want our culture to be understanding of the power that we have and not feel so guilty about embracing the fact that this is our culture and we built it and we have every right to police every single aspect of it, especially if we start to feel like something doesn't suit us, that we help, that was built on our backs because, we supported it. We have every right to stop supporting something if it doesn't suit us. Every other culture does it, So, I don't know what it is about his platform that you guys think is so giant and, oh man, we can't remove him. Okay, if that's what you think, that's fine. But life goes on. I'm not tripping. There never was any hatred in my heart. He's a former friend of mine. I still think he's a cool guy. I don't have any hatred toward him. And I just publicly told him that we can't have a relationship. We can't be friends if you can't respect the minister in our culture. I find it odd that every individual in our culture, black, can command respect as individuals from one another, and be willing to tear each other's head off over, the thought of disrespect. But when it comes to demanding it as a culture, that just doesn't translate. Like, we don't know how that looks. We don't look at it as the same. I just personally look at it as the same. I feel like anything counterproductive, countercultural that happens, we bear the brunt of that. We got to deal with the repercussions of that differently from any other group because it's our culture, So I think we just need to really just start owning the value that we bring all together. We've been attacked on every level, from our family construct to just, buck broken and like the genocide and tyranny and everything that you can think of placed behind that 8-ball on the lowest form of the social economic scale, and just oppressed as a people. And we sit in a unique space in America that you can't compare to any other group of people. And our highest level of just trauma and transgression is the most valuable thing being bartered, bought, and sold in the world. Our trauma is worth everything to everybody, So if somebody's gonna come into our culture and sell that trauma back to us, that's okay, as long as we know that that's what they're doing and they're respectful. Like, we love people getting money, but if you're gonna be disrespectful, you're gonna come in our culture and say, I'm not gonna apologize to the minister. I don't have to apologize to the minister. Yeah, that's problematic. It may not be problematic to you if you don't stand for respect, but it doesn't change the way I feel about my brothers and sisters. I still love my brothers and sisters. Nothing will stop me from doing that. And I never have to look at Vlad's platform again. And if he does anything else that I see that's problematic, I'm gonna point that out too, just because that's just what I choose to do. But I'm not trying to like destroy him or anything like that. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thought. If I wanted to destroy Vlad, he would just be getting destroyed. He's not somebody who I can't like do horrible things to. I'm choosing to let him choose rather to apologize or not. And he said he doesn't want to apologize. And I said, I respect that. So where'd you get hate from? I don't hate. I can't hate anyone. I can't hate. I love my people. I love my brothers. I love my children. I love my wife. I don't love groupies. I don't love alcohol. I don't love to influence my youngins to make bad decisions. I love to be intentional about being an OG. Like I tweeted earlier, like when I started focusing on being Big Sean's OG and stopped thinking about what can he do for me, our relationship blossomed exactly the way that it was supposed to. And that says it all. You can't be in the limelight forever. You got to give it back. And everybody, none of this shit is free. I'm not even supposed to be here. I've been through enough to where I know that I'm here for a reason. And all I'm doing is contributing. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be intentional with the way that I gatekeep. I can gatekeep. Nobody's going to tell me I can't be a gatekeeper. Nobody going to whoop my ass. Nobody going to shut me up. Free White and 21. Look that up. That's me. Nobody's going to remove me. I say what I want to say. All right? Peace and love.